in a world that constantly tells us to do more, achieve more, and become more, have you ever stopped to ask, is more always better? And when does ambition begin to cost more than it gives? As we arrive at the final talk of today's inspiring lineup, we invite a speaker who challenges the way we think about success itself.
VIHAAN, a grade 10 student, uncovers the hidden patterns behind everyday life. In his talk, he challenges that ideas move is always better, inviting us to rethink how we define productivity, success, and our true worth.
Please join us in welcoming our final speaker for today. VIHAAN BINAYKIA, the stage is yours.
When was the last time you were up at 2 a.m. looking at a large stack of papers or that glowing screen of your laptop and thinking just one more hour of work should be enough? That cold coffee is sitting on your desk for the past 3 hours and your eyes are burning, they're drowsy, they're drooping. And we think there's an internal voice in our head that says, you aren't doing enough. We live in a society that applauds this, that claps for this. We idolize the grind, the hustle culture, the myth of infinite capacity. We think that if we aren't perpetually exhausted, we simply aren't trying hard enough. We've been brought up with the belief that more is better. More effort, more time, more investment, more practice. It all leads to a guaranteed path to perfection. But does it really? I think that along this path, there's a point where more isn't just a strategy. It becomes a liability. Good morning. I'm VIHAAN BINAYKIA, and today I'm going to be talking about the economics of exhaustion. I love looking at the world through the numbers and the hidden systems that run it. And I was intrigued by this obsession over endless effort, endless hours, endless productivity that we aim for, that we strive for. And I realized something interesting. When looking at this through a mathematical, economic lens, that the hustle culture, it isn't always a blueprint for success. The hustle culture is a market failure. It's a misallocation of resources. And I'm going to show you how. This is a production possibility curve. It shows the maximum output and the maximum well-being that we can achieve simultaneously. By well-being, I mean our physical health, our mental health, our fatigue, our rest, and by output, the professional, academic work that we've completed. With our belief that more is better, and with constant deadlines, constant exams coming up, we often prioritize our work, our academic output, that professional output. But when we do this, we incur an opportunity cost. The cost is our mental well-being, our physical well-being. We sacrifice so much of this. And in the first 3 hours, we don't even realize it because our output keeps increasing and the decrease in our mental well-being is less. But as we move on to the 6th hour, the 8th hour, the 10th hour of continuously working, even the smallest increases in output can lead to drastic decreases in our well-being. Now, you might think, why is this? This is because of the law of diminishing marginal returns. As we move on, as time increases, the difference between revenue and cost starts to decrease. The profits turn into losses. And in this, we lose out on mental capital. By mental capital, I mean the focus, the creativity, the critical thinking skills that we require the next day to produce a better output, to solve problems. And when we lose this, we underutilize our resources. And this underutilization of resources is a market failure. The point that was once on the curve is now under the curve. We're putting 100% of our effort into producing work that has just 10% quality. We're producing flawed work, which has mistakes. And the next day, we're going to have to fix that anyways. We're just wasting our time. Now you might be thinking, if we're so unproductive, especially in these later hours, why do we keep going on and on and on? This is because we fall victim to the sunk cost fallacy. The sunk cost fallacy is basically that you've invested so much time into something, so much effort into something, that you want to finish it right there and then. You don't want to stop. For example, we think, I've worked on this report for the last 4 hours. It's 2 a.m. now. If I sleep, I'm just going to have wasted the last 4 hours. You can't gain those hours back. And that's why you continue and continue until it's 5 a.m., 6 a.m., until you're done, even though you're being unproductive. So how do we solve this? We solve this by taking a break. Let me give you an analogy of an F1 car. An F1 car goes on the track for 50 laps, 60 laps, 70 laps sometimes. But it doesn't use the same tires because the tires degrade. They blister, they wear out, they lose grip. And eventually, the car's gonna go slower and the risk of a crash increases. So what do the teams do? The teams call in the car for a pit stop. This is a reset where the tires are switched, fresher ones are put on, and the tires are like our capital. They allow the car to go faster, to gain the 20 seconds they lost during the pit stop, and even more. And this allows a better result. The car goes faster, and the risk of a crash decreases. These brakes are strategic. They help the car. But in our world, we often think of brakes as a penalty. We think of brakes as a distraction. But actually, they're an alternative asset which we must invest in. Simple things such as playing basketball or playing the piano for me allow me to refresh my brain, refresh my body, just blow off steam and reset. And when I come back to work, I produce a better output, a more productive output. I've done lots of mathematical modeling in my maths classes and even some research work, and I've realized a strange paradox. All these models, they have limits. They're bounded within these limits. And we respect that. We respect the math. Because after that, these models become inaccurate. The same way, mechanical systems, electrical systems, and now even AI systems, they have a limit until which they're sustainable. But after that, the system collapses. And we understand that as well. But as humans, we have limits too. And we intentionally ignore those limits. We intentionally go past them, overcross them, and we operate at a deficit. We think that we're hustling, but we're actually being unproductive. And that's not good. So now we know that we have to take a break. But the question is, when do we take that break? And that's where profit maximization comes in. In a private sector, a firm often looks for maximizing their profit, especially in a competitive market. And to do this, they use an optimization point, which is when marginal revenue equals to marginal cost. As I said before, the difference between revenue and cost slowly starts to decrease as time increases. And when this happens, the costs end up outweighing the benefits at one point. So before this incident, before this occurrence, the firms, they stop producing. They take their own pit stop. They take a break. They let the market forces balance again, or they fix whatever problem they're facing. And then they start producing again and regaining a profit. And they don't lose any money. The same thing is what we need to apply to our work. We need to find this optimization point where the cost to our mental capital is the same as the benefits of our output, the knowledge that we're learning, that we're yielding. And when we find this point, we'll be able to achieve true productivity. People say that resting is rusting, that resting is the opposite of productivity. But I think it's time that we rebrand rest. Rest is actually a prerequisite for productivity. It's a mandate for productivity. And we need to understand that. And once we realize that productivity isn't just simply about the number of hours we grind, but how efficiently we utilize our time, that's when our productivity will go from down here to up here. Thank you.